to the 5. So
True. Hello and welcome to our review of WrestleMania 41. Among other things, because this has been a very busy week. Very busy week. Yeah. Callum, your initial thoughts on this show?
Oh man, if you mix the two nights together and you remove the shit matches, this is like a perfect WrestleMania. Night 1 was so strange. Got better as it went up, and then it's like a mirror. This WrestleMania was like a mirror. Night 1, you go up, and then it meets in the middle, and then it just slowly goes back down, mirroring itself. This WrestleMania was so weird. This is such a weird WrestleMania, and it's more negative because of how it ended off, which is quite disappointing. And everything that we've learned since WrestleMania has just been more disappointing, and it makes it even worse.
In regards to someone who was not there.
Yeah, I'm very mixed on this Mania. I'm probably more negative than positive, fortunately.
Yeah, it was a weird show. I have all of my gripes, though. Well, not all of them, but a lot of my gripes have kind of been overshadowed by the fact that literally right after this show, you had an absolutely all-time career-defining shoot promo from Karrion Kross on the Sam Roberts thing. And then you had the Raw after Mania, which had a lot of really exciting stuff. And then you had the SmackDown as well, which also had a lot of really exciting stuff on it.
Wait, I haven't finished SmackDown, so no SmackDown spoilers.
I won't tell you what happens, but both shows to me overshadow WrestleMania, which is really strange. It's like 2013 all over again, where WrestleMania itself is mostly very forgettable, and then you have the shows that happen right after it, and it's like that. Raw and SmackDown to me feel more like WrestleMania than a lot of WrestleMania did, which is bizarre. But I'm pretty much not like identical, but I'm pretty much in the same boat as Callum in the sense that the worst parts of the show were at the start of night 1 and the end of night 2, and the best parts of the show are at the end of night 1 and the start of night 2. And then the rest of it is
a mirror.
The rest of it's a fucking up and down, crazy, wild, like, strange thing to watch. And I've honestly forgotten most of it already.
And it's been a week.
Yeah, it's been a week, and a lot of this has just gone in one ear and out the other, really. But yeah, no, it was a strange show. I think this is probably the weakest Mania in a few years.
Since 38, probably.
Yeah, 38's probably similar to this, I think.
It's like probably the same sort of level, really.
It's probably in like a different way. Like 38 is very similar to this, but it's in a different
38 has a lot of really good. It has like half really shit matches and half actually quite good matches.
Yeah,
but it's the same sort of vibe that I get.
They're similar in a lot of ways, except the biggest difference between this and 38 is that 38 has like Vince McMahon wrestling on it, which is absolutely bizarre.
Like, yeah, exactly.
There's bad stuff on this show, but there's nothing that was so bizarre to the point where you feel like you're not even like it's not even a real thing. Like that was WrestleMania 38 had stuff on it where I was like, what am I watching? This is so weird. Anyway, Regan, what were your thoughts on WrestleMania 41?
I enjoyed it. I'm just annoyed at myself for changing my predictions hours before. I would have got everything right except the tag match.
You would have won if you hadn't changed them.
So annoyed. I think half an hour before the call started, or an hour before, I took the dog for a walk and I listened to Insight and I listened to CVV do his predictions, and I was like, maybe I'll change mine. And if I bloody hadn't, I would have got them all right.
Don't listen. Don't be persuaded. You always have to go with your gut. Always go with your gut.
I would have got them all right. I was so mad, but I was glad that the people I changed about said wouldn't win one. So,
well, because you changed it, instead of winning, you and Callum tied for first. And because I was the champion going into the show, I've lost the belt, but no one's won the belt.
So it's vacated.
Yeah, and we're not doing. I've decided we're not going to do Backlash. So you'll have to get it. You two will have to fight for the belt at Money in the Bank, and I will have to sit out
Yeah.
as my punishment for losing. I have to
Yeah.
wait until SummerSlam.
I didn't actually realize. I didn't realize that. I actually didn't know who won. I didn't realize the score. You know what's fucking annoying? Like, oh man, I got like half the results like wrong on night one.
Yeah, you were really behind. You were really behind.
Thank
I
God
wasn't
for
even paying
night two.
attention to that. I was just, if I hadn't changed those three, I would have been. It would have been.
Had I not just gone for Logan fucking Paul?
And had I not changed them, and you could have bet on wrestling in this country, I could have made some money. But you can't bet here on it.
It's a dangerous game. But you know, I was the opposite, Callum. I had quite a successful night one, apart from the last two matches.
I had a rough night one. I had a very rough night one.
Yeah.
I got like
anyway,
half of it wrong.
Yeah. So, God, where do we start? All right. You know what? I'm going to take the ball. I'm going to take the ball for this first match because I've got things to say about Jey Uso versus Gunther. Yeah, I personally like. Yeah, there's good stuff in this match, but I personally cannot compartmentalize the qualities of this match with how I feel about it because I hate it. I hate the way it finishes. I hate the way Jey Uso tapped out Gunther. I hate the circumstances of him winning the Rumble and getting to this match. I hate what they've done with Gunther, apart from obviously the night after, which not a night after, but 2 nights after, they did do something interesting. But I hate what they've done with him in this title reign. I hated the way I felt when the match ended. I hate feeling so at odds with the crowd. Like feeling like everyone else is having fun and I'm not.
Everyone else is just you feel like you're going mad.
Yeah, like there are good objective qualities about this match, but I can't stand it. It is this match made me so deflated and annoyed. And I'm not a yeeter. I'm sorry, I'm not a yeeter.
It just wasn't believable for me that he would tap out.
No, but guys, it was like the Ilya Dragunov match. He did the same finish and he tapped out instantly.
It wasn't.
Anyone says that, I really think you need to put your head in the sand.
I just can't believe he made him tap out.
Life.
It's not believable.
Ilya Dragunov is 10 times the in-ring wrestler that Jey Uso is right now.
I can guarantee you he literally probably targeted the neck a lot better than Jey did. Yeah, it's just really annoying.
I just don't. I'm so fed up.
Yeah, but he hit a splash on his back.
I don't care. You know, this sucked. Gunther was made to look a lot worse than he should be by losing in the way he lost.
Yeah, and what's he gonna do now?
Pat McAfee. He did kill him.
Nobody wants to see that.
Great. But him killing him was
great. I loved the angle. I did love the angle, but I don't know if I want to see that.
But not a match at Backlash. The water. Yeah, no match at Backlash. That would be silly.
Have McAfee run off and do College Game Day for a few months. And let
Cole can't be by himself, though.
Commentate.
Oh, yeah, Corey can
Graves
come up. Yeah, that'd be good.
Anyway, so I'm sure there were good things about this match, but I don't care. I hate it. Callum, your thoughts?
I don't think this match is that great. I don't think it's that great anyway. It's like the best version of a Jey match and like one of the worst versions of a Gunther match. I felt like the only thing... The people think this match is better than it is because Jey doesn't hit super kicks every 5 fucking seconds.
The matches he had in Lockdown with Roman Reigns were actually really good.
Well, because they fit the style of the Roman match because it was more drama based.
Yeah, and he's
That's
a
why it
phenomenal.
worked.
He's an
They're not
amazing
actually
tag team
like
wrestler as
intense,
well.
great wrestling matches.
He's a great tag team wrestler as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all knew it was going to happen, but the way that they did it,
I
was
didn't
just
expect
weird.
the finish to be that bad.
No, I didn't. I mean, how were they? How were they going to do it? It was weird.
Everyone who's thinking it's because Gunther is like a pussy is like really. That's a really annoying way of looking at what happened. Because he's not. He's fucking Gunther. He kills people regularly. He killed Sheamus and Drew McIntyre at the same time 2 Manias ago.
Yep.
And Jimmy, not 2 weeks ago.
Like the way that
Sami had to literally drop him on his head to beat him.
Yeah, the way Sami beat him last year made sense. It was actually
Yeah, because he fucking dropped him on his head on the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
To the point where people thought it was a fucking botch.
Well, so you notice how like quickly Gunther tapped
I don't
as well.
get it.
Like it was so weird.
It was like less than 5 seconds. It was
This
fucking
felt-
insane.
It felt like a Raw match, and a lot of this show did. A lot of Night 1 felt like Raw matches to me.
Night 1 felt like a really like not even like a good Raw, like an average Raw.
An average Raw with a great main event.
Yeah, with like longer match times.
Like if you cut off the last match and Tiffany Charlotte's the main event, that it feels like Raw. When you just look at it at the first 6 matches.
This match just did not do it.
Yeah, no.
3.75 stars.
Also, there were no
Ow.
special entrances at WrestleMania.
That felt like the whole point
there
of the
was
whole
one.
like weekend.
It's like
There was one. There was one. And
there was a few, but like it feels like there's supposed to be heaps. Like but there was like none.
Yeah,
It felt like none. Especially with that stage as well. That stage is so good.
Yeah. I mean, there was an anti-special entrance on night 2, but that's purposeful.
Yes, there was, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Regan, what were your thoughts on Jay vs. Gunther?
Meh.
Yeah, I know, right? This should
I mean,
be a big deal. It should be a big deal, but it's not.
Now Gunther just looks stupid because he tapped out.
This might be a hot take. I think the World Heavyweight Championship looks mid-card on Jey Uso.
Even more. Remember last year where it was surrounding like Punk, Seth, and Drew?
Yeah.
Even Priest was better,
Yeah.
like in terms of presentation.
He did, yeah. I think Jacob Fatu looks more main event with the US title than Jey Uso does with the world title. That's genuinely how I feel.
Oh, because he can have good singles matches with like people like LA Knight. We'll get to that later, but fucking what a fucking awful title reign as well. Gunther's title reign was so awful.
Yeah.
And I don't get how. The booking was so bad for like his entire reign. How?
Yeah.
You had the perfect template of what a Gunther reign is with the IC belt, yet you treated that like a world title more than you did with the actual world title with Gunther. I don't get how that's happened.
He is one of the easiest wrestlers in the world to book. I don't understand
He's
how
a
they
fucking
fucked this
killer
up.
in the ring. He has like multiple ways of ending matches.
You don't need to overthink Gunther. It's not hard.
And they need to bring Ludwig back to
Like-
announce him because it doesn't sound as good.
Just like, I don't get why they hit 3 splashes and not 4. Just do 4 post-massacre. Just fucking do it. Just finish a spam it. I don't care. Making him tap out and instantly is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because everyone else thinks he's a fucking goober.
I will say the one moment that did impress me about this match is when Jay did the powerbomb on Gunther. That was pretty cool. But apart from that, I didn't care.
Well, the story of the match was Jay trying to pull out like everything that Gunther does and pull it out on him.
Yeah.
Was because, but then it ended with the sleeper. So now the story's like because he tapped out fucking instantly is fucking ridiculous. He's never done a sleeper in the build at all. He never did anything like that. It's fucking insane.
I mean, I felt like the
fucking
thing of
awful match.
Gunther making Jimmy bleed was never really tied into the match. We never saw like
They
this,
didn't
I feel
mention
like,
it after it happened.
Honestly, having Jay versus Gunther, they should have made it like a no holds barred match. To be honest,
Probably. This show lacked a lot of gimmicks. It's really only the fucking Drew match from
guess what,
night
Callum?
2.
Guess what, Callum? They were gonna have a TLC match, but then they put it on SmackDown.
Fucking insane. They decided to have a Clash of Clans match, which we'll get to
Anyway.
like literally in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
Anyway,
match stunk. I hated this match.
Yeah, fucking hated it.
I was
It
so fine with the match, like as it happened, but I didn't find it like super impressive. I thought it was just fine, and then the finish happened and it ruined the match.
After this, because this opened WrestleMania, I had a bad feeling about the whole show going forward because of how it started. I was very much like, yeah, I'm sure there'll be good stuff, but I'm so pissed off about how it started that I'm just like, ugh.
It was a real bad start, and people don't want to admit it for some reason because the fact that J1 is all that matters when he is like the most mid-card world title holder.
Yeah, no, like Jay deserves to.
And then he comes out on Raw the next night and then just does the entrance, and that's fucking it. That's all he fucking does.
Yeah, I mean, we got a
That
Sammy
pissed me off
tease,
as well.
But that was the only good part.
Yeah, but that's not enough. You can't just have a tease and that just be like, oh, have him do the entrance, and then he's, yeah, I won the world title. He's like completely out of breath because all he does is the fucking entrance. Oh god, this is a really bad start.
Young upstart 39-year-old Jew, so.
Yeah, man, he's only like 12 years younger than the Undertaker.
Also, why do people think Yeet is trendy? It's not. It's like
It hasn't been trending in like fucking 5-6 years.
It makes Jey Uso seem like a dad when he does Yeet because of how old that is.
No, man, he's hip and young.
He really is not. Anyway, New Day versus War Raiders. There was some, like
Fucking hell.
Such a dumb entrance.
Yeah, I mean they did their.
That was so awful.
Just full of sponsors.
Yeah, all the sponsors.
They look like absolute dorks.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be War Raiders, and they had them dressed up like Vikings.
This WrestleMania felt so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Too many sponsors.
Yeah,
Talking about them too much.
The product placement is too much.
You shouldn't talk about characters from a Clash of Clans game as they're walking down to the ring.
Yeah. I mean, the War Raiders did their repertoire. New Day won. I don't care. Sorry, I don't care. Just couldn't take it seriously. I was so pissed off about what I just watched that I couldn't really focus on this match because I was just so checked out. I was like, ugh.
Oh no, yeah, of course. This match, but this was like it was like an average Raw match. That's literally what it was.
Yeah.
There was nothing else. This got a fucking video package.
It was so forgettable. They should have had the TLC match was so much better than this. Like by miles,
I don't get why
by
I don't get why that wasn't on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Anyway.
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway, it was whatever. Moving on, we had Jade Cargill versus Naomi, which was better. It was better. It's better than the previous two, I guess.
Oh, this was a lot better. This was a lot better than the last two matches.
This was this had a story. It had characters. It had competent wrestling. I thought it was fine. I thought this was respectable at the very least.
Yeah, this is like having two black women having just a blood feud match at WrestleMania, and in of itself is actually a big deal, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, and that kind of tying into the fact that Bianca is off her game because her best friends are fighting ties into
Yeah, like Naomi got to have a singles match at WrestleMania, which is like I can't remember the last time that even happened, if it actually has happened.
Yeah,
And it was like a story that they've built, Not the best story, but it was a story, and there was
It was-
like easily understandable.
This was like a solid mid-card feud match. It was fine.
Yeah, it was. I think it was perfectly competent.
Yeah. Regan, did you have any thoughts about Jade versus Naomi?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. She's so athletic, catching her out of the air and stuff. That was sick.
Yeah.
I thought it was
they're
really
both-
good.
They're both great athletes.
I really liked that entrance coming through like the caution tape. That was really
True.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Naomi's
Just
really
lacking on the
changed.
entrances though.
She's
Not
changed.
really her theme though, unfortunately, because it's Death Rebel.
Yeah, whatever. Ugh,
It just
Rebel.
bombed.
Same
It's
snare
just
drum
that-
in every song.
That's what every mid-card Death Rebel theme is. It's just drum and bass.
It's the same snare drum in every
Unless
song.
you're LA Knight. I don't know why LA Knight somehow has like the best one, like since he came in the door. So weird.
Would you consider carrying Cross mid card, or would you consider him off the show? Because I don't.
In terms of his position on the card, he is mid-card, yes.
Well,
Below
'cause
mid-card.
he has one of my favorite Death Rebel songs. Like
That's true. He's just
but I feel
not,
like
he's just not on
difference
TV.
the difference is that one is tailor made, and it's kind of like how Roman Reigns' theme is tailor made. That's what makes it different to the
Yeah.
other Death Rebel songs.
Same with Knight, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight for the US title, this was actually really good. Holy shit! Finally,
This was really good.
finally a
This was a really good
WrestleMania match. Callum, you talk about this
People
one.
need to understand that Knight is actually a good wrestler. He actually is a very good wrestler.
Yeah. Put respect on his name.
Absolutely. I've been saying this for years. He's actually a good wrestler. He knows what he's doing. He was trained properly for years.
Yeah. But not only is he great, but the winner of this match, Jacob Fatu.
LA Knight,
first.
Jacob Fatu was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
His mask was very weird and very cheap.
Yeah.
It didn't look great, but this match fucking ruled. This was like my second favorite match of the night, easily.
Yeah, I think once, like, I was kind of checked out of the show, but this was the match that got me back in. I was like, okay, I'm ready. I feel like this feels like WrestleMania now. I feel like I'm actually watching WrestleMania when I watch this match. And it was
Yeah.
very, very, very entertaining. Yeah, Regan, what did you make of Fatu versus Knight?
I can't really remember it, but I remember it was good. LA Knight had
The
a good entrance.
BFT after the moonsault backwards, the moonsault
Yeah.
into the BFT was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah,
That
was
looks great.
Yep.
I actually really like the BFT. The name's a bit strange because it just reminds me of a sandwich.
Yeah, the BLT.
It makes me think of
Connor's
NFTs.
favorite
Yeah.
food. Oh god, we gotta
Oh,
finish those.
don't remind me of the BLTs, Regan. That's a horrible
That'll be
memory.
your finisher. The BLT.
BLT.
But yeah, Fatu looks like an absolute unit, and yeah, right time to put the belt on him.
And they're teasing...
Knight's had a really Knight can now, I think, if they swap the world titles on brands in the draft that will be coming up at some point, I imagine, he can go for the world title at some point, and I think he should.
Well, when a heel
Because I don't think Jay's gonna have a long reign.
Yeah, I mean, I think
So
I'd assume LA Knight would probably have to wait until a heel wins it, because I don't see Knight turning heel too soon.
yeah, probably. I'd imagine. It's whether fucking. Oh, it depends on if they put Seth, like the Seth group on SmackDown, because I imagine he will face Jay at some point for the world title.
Are they going to do a draft?
They always do.
Usually after Backlash, if I remember correctly.
Well, that's the next pay-per-view.
Yeah. So, anyway, this match was cool. I liked this one a lot.
I thought this match was really great. I really liked this match a lot.
So, after this, Rey Mysterio was injured on SmackDown, so he was replaced by Rey Fenix. And he faced El Grande Americano, which is Chad Gable in a mask.
Allegedly.
I don't know. I really don't know what to make of this thing, because I think it's funny how Chad Gable pretends that he's not the character, but I also just don't care about the character either. And I
don't really care about this gimmick. I think it's funny, like initially, but I don't know. I'm not that into it.
I don't think El Grande's.
I thought the match was fine. I thought the match was fine. It was perfectly competent wrestling.
I don't find the El Grande character entertaining. The only thing I find entertaining is Chad Gable referencing El Grande when he's not in the mask, as opposed to when he is. Because I don't care.
They need to
about
do
him when
something. Well, do something with Chad Gable. He needs something. He's good. Give him a title, sure.
I will say the 450 backwards fucking whatever was fucking crazy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He nearly bashed his head in though.
Yeah. I mean, even though Mysterio being in the match would have added more like importance and prestige to it, I actually think having Phoenix in the match, because he's younger and more agile, it made it a much more fiery match. But it was only like 8 minutes. It was really short, which again made it feel like a Raw match.
Short.
Made it feel like a Raw match, to be honest.
But at least he gets his WrestleMania debut sooner than he thought.
That's true. I mean, Rey Fenix is a great wrestler. He's a great wrestler, but it's just he's very much slotted in. It's not really I'm kind of just waiting for that inevitable time when they finally put the Lucha Brothers together, because I think that would be valuable.
I imagine I think that'll be later in the year.
Maybe when they do the draft, they'll put them on the same brand.
Maybe. I'd imagine they want to keep Penta on Raw.
I don't know. Penta did say he wanted to do his own thing for a while.
Maybe they could do that for a year.
Yeah, he will for a while.
They could do that for a year.
I think end of the year.
Like they could have a spot.
I think on the lead up to next WrestleMania next year.
Well, what they could do is that in the next year's Royal Rumble match, they could have Penta and Phoenix face off. Like they could, do be in the ring at the same time, and then after that, it's kind of when they become a tag team again. I think maybe the reason why Penta's saying that is because they had been in AEW. They were a tag team basically the whole time, unless one of them was injured. And they spent so much time tag teaming together, so I imagine, I can understand why Penta will want to do a singles run for a bit.
Yeah, let them do their own thing.
Yeah. And actually, having them establish themselves as singles first and then putting them together might work. Anyway. Moving on. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. I mean, at least Charlotte didn't win, right, Regan?
Thank God.
At least Charlotte didn't win. That's
and
what I can say.
Thank goodness someone finally got a good entrance.
Yeah, Tiffany's entrance was cool.
Tiffany's entrance was really good.
Yeah. I will say though,
She just wanted to do that for a while.
I'm not sure if I would say these two have great chemistry. I felt like this match was quite sloppy.
That's what a lot of people said.
Charlotte
I thought it was
sandbagging a lot.
Yeah.
I think it started out really sloppy. Like it was really rough in the beginning. Which is funny. My dad was in the room when this match was going on because I watched it in the morning. I didn't watch either night. I watched it in the morning because I was knackered. He came in at the beginning of this match and he just kept fucking saying, "How the fuck do you watch it? This is so shit." But it was very sloppy, to be fair. This match was really rough to begin with.
Yeah, they kind of got there at the end, I think. But yeah, I'd say so. I was expecting better from this, honestly. I was expecting this to be better than it ended up being.
This was I think this was quite a rough match.
Yeah. Do you think maybe Charlotte spending so much time away and being injured...
We had a lot of ring rust.
Yeah. It's possible. But I don't know.
I mean, she's not had many matches
Charlotte
since
Flair is
she's
quite
been back.
unpredictable. She's quite unpredictable as a wrestler, because sometimes she can have, like, one of the most amazing women's matches you've ever seen, and sometimes she's just really disappointing. It's tricky.
I have seen some of SmackDown, and I do not want to see Nia Jax back in the bloody title scene.
God.
Better not happen. We don't need it.
I don't know why Triple H is so obsessed with Nia Jax.
God, just get rid of her already.
He always has been. He's always loved Nia Jax for some reason.
She's useless. She had the title last year. She doesn't need it again.
Yeah.
She can team up with Naomi and be the bloodline.
Or bloodline adjacent, I suppose.
She had a good match on SmackDown though with Jade. That was good.
True. Yeah.
I liked the Mania match. I thought it was good, but we watched it through different lenses. So
What did you like about the Tiffany Charlotte match?
I just thought it was really athletic and it was really good.
I mean, there were parts that
I think this was a very sandbaggy, sloppy match. I think overall, it also went really long. This is a long match.
It was 19 minutes.
Yeah, it felt like it went half an hour. I think this could have been cut a little bit for time. Like if it went 15, 16, I think that'd been fine.
Poor Tiffany at the end.
Or just do different things. I remember, at the end of this match, there was a lot of... Tiffany especially looked real rough, like she'd been through a lot of bumps and bruises.
Yeah. A lot of people thought she chipped the tooth, but it was just probably like... I think like it was just like blood or something was on her tooth, made it look like she like chipped her tooth or something.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Charlotte. Like, does she need to go to counseling or something? Her behavior is very odd.
Very odd.
It's weird though, because
she went through a divorce recently, so maybe that's why she's
her last WrestleMania match.
Got her head in the game.
But she's kind of been like this for like a while. There's been things like this.
I've seen her for a while, so
it's weird though, because her last WrestleMania match was amazing with Rhea Ripley. That match was fucking incredible.
That match was fucking awesome. It was like one of the best Mania women matches ever.
It's like one of the best women's matches outside of Japan ever.
Yeah.
Like, ever done. But then, I don't know. Charlotte's just strange. Very strange. It's very clear that she doesn't have the ability to ignore criticism, I think. She has a hard time handling scrutiny. Which to me says she needs to go to counseling. That's what I would recommend. But I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know.
No. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But wrestling's a fucking tough... It's a tough business. Wrestling is a tough business, right?
Yeah, it's a very mentally challenging industry.
Yeah. Anyway.
Also, Charlotte looks a lot more blonde this episode. This match as well.
That was possibly a mood thing.
I only noticed that. Probably.
Very platinum.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but yeah, so far I was not really impressed with Mania until
the main event, which was my favorite match of the show. I fucking loved this. Loved the entrances, loved the match, loved the storyline, loved Paul Heyman. For me, CM Punk's video package and entrance is an all-timer moment. I was absolutely elated. I was so happy. Yeah, they told a great story. It was given the time it needed to be given. It was a proper big match. And yeah, this for me was easily the highlight of Mania. I was so happy. Callum, you give your thoughts.
I thought this is easily my favourite thing on the whole show. And remember, Connor, when I said to you when talking about the Money in the Bank match, about how I think this Fire Burns is more suited for that moment than Cult of Personality would be.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of what I felt like with the opening package as well. I feel like it was actually really suited for like it's like a better version of like the Drew entrance at Clash of the Castle. Because we just wanted him to come out to that song. This is a bit different, where it's suited to like his story and his journey in the company.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really effective.
If they do Cena versus Punk at Money in the Bank again, I would want him to come out to This Fire Burns. I would do that if I was in charge, because I think it would be a great callback.
Yeah, I thought the entrance was fucking awesome. It's just like I like how it's pretty much everybody's like in everyone's mind on Twitter, like every day, and it's been like a week since it. It might be one of my favorite opening packages to an entrance. I think it's that good.
I've rewatched it like 15 times. I won't lie.
It's so good. It's actually really, really good.
Not only to have that package, but then also to have the Cult of Personality live performance on top of that as well.
It makes you forget how, when he joined the company, how little tattoos he actually had to compare to now.
Yeah, and how weathered his face has become as well.
Yeah, but it's a good look for him.
Yeah. This is
forget how
my
young
main
he
event.
looked. Like, even in 2011, how different he looked.
My addiction is wrestling.
Yeah, there's such a great way of using his, like, first ever promo from ECW.
Yeah.
Just, so good.
So good.
And I don't know if you've seen the entrance, like, live, like, videos of it. It's like everyone starts singing
I have
This
seen
Fire
it.
Burns.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I was actually kind of surprised at the lack of fanfare in Roman Reigns' entrance compared to the last 2 years.
It kind of felt like that with his story, though, and I kind of do like that. This is the first Mania since he turned heel where he's just been on his own. Yeah. Just him. He walks out, no fanfare, no nothing, no bloodline, no wise man, just Roman Reigns. And I think that's actually very interesting. Like, and you can see it throughout the whole match. That's the sort of story they're telling with Roman. They've sort of got him back on track after a bit of a rough patch during the feud. This felt like the destination, actually, we eventually got to what we needed.
He's definitely being stripped down, and he's losing a lot of his power.
Yeah, and that's done on purpose, and it's actually quite effective.
Yeah, which is why it was smart to
also
be the person to lose the match as well.
Yeah, also, that opening guitar riff was fucking beautiful.
Yep.
The solo at the beginning was, like, perfect. Oh, and the singer didn't rush his cue this time, unlike 29.
My eyes!
Look at my eyes! He actually got on time this time.
Yeah.
Such a good song.
And yeah, Paul Heyman. I thought this was an all-time performance by Paul Heyman. He was a show stealer. Just that shot of him leaning down on the steps and just in panic.
What a fucking just man.
My favorite thing about the climax of this match is that the way that Paul Heyman betrays Punk and Roman are done in completely different ways. He betrays Punk because he had to. He felt obliged to betray Punk, and it hurt him to do so. But he betrayed Roman Reigns because he wanted to, out of hatred and resentment.
Yeah, for how he treated him.
Yep. It was so interesting to see Heyman go through the emotions of betraying both men and joining Seth Rollins. And then, obviously, on the next night, Braun Breaker has joined this group as well, which is a massive revelation.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The group everyone's saying is the next evolution. Who's the last person they're going to take?
Yeah, because Paul Heyman is the next Ric Flair.
Oh dear. Anyway, Regan, what were your thoughts?
But yeah, it's that will be the direction. Yeah.
Regan, what were your thoughts on the triple threat match?
I thought Seth had the best entrance. That was awesome.
He came out in like the big black jacket, and then the lights went off, and he came out, and then he had.
And then
light
that was
I
another
think
thing.
everyone thought he was
People
gonna
were
come
like,
out to the Shield music.
people were like, how did we not see that he was going to turn heel? He had the flamethrower just like The Rock did.
So true.
That was cool though, with the flamethrower, and when it went up onto the the Titantron above him.
Yeah.
And then when the screen went black, I thought, oh god, what's gone wrong? Like
One of the people that
Why-
was in the room like yelled out, "Oh, it's gonna be the Undertaker."
No,
like, no.
I think I thought it was going to be like the Shield entrance.
I didn't even think. I just thought something went wrong, and I was like, oh my goodness, what's happened? And then the pearly white, I thought it was really good.
Very flashy.
Of course, the match was very good.
Yeah. It was.
We thought we were going to get the double power bomb, but
It
no.
was a very, very strong 33 minutes, which, a 33-minute match can go all sorts of ways, but they earned everything. It was all well done. Interesting details about the setup of this Mania is that not only do they have fans sitting in the stage, which I don't think they've ever done before, but they also had different announce tables. They were like this sort of almost...
Yeah, they're very weird.
They were supposed to look like you were at a casino. They were like a blackjack table.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they did it on purpose, but the next night they had swapped positions.
Yeah, they did. They did swap positions.
Finally, we've seen those tables get broken.
I loved the moment...
Well, they're not even the tables they used. They're different ones.
I loved the moment where they teased the Shield powerbomb, and Reigns...
Yeah, that was good.
Reigns refused to do it without Rollins because he feels free from the Shield. He feels like he doesn't need the Shield anymore. Which was a really great character moment. We're seeing the best of them sort of divulging the babyface version of the Tribal Chief now. We're actually seeing them show his more vulnerable side. But of course that leads to, I love the fact that Paul Heyman tempts Roman with revenge, giving him the steel chair and then saying you can hit Rollins in the back like he's done to you.
And nuts him.
And that leading to him betraying Roman. I love the story that they're telling that Roman Reigns never betrays anyone, regardless of babyface or heel. He's never betrayed anyone.
Nope.
And that's why he feels justified in everything he does, is because everyone betrays him. And they've kind of done this over the last sort of, ever since 2014, is that Seth Rollins is Roman Reigns' kryptonite, and it's continued again. Like, he's the one guy that has Roman Reigns figured out.
Now he's got his wise man.
Yep. And I love the little detail of when Rollins was pinning Reigns, you could see Punk kind of crawling over to try and stop it, but it wasn't enough. It was like a last-ditch attempt.
Yeah, so are those two going to team up now? Like everyone says?
And yeah, probably. I mean, Rollins and Breakker versus Reigns and Punk could be quite a match.
You think Ambrose will ever come back?
No. For the Hall of Fame he would, but I don't think he'll come back to wrestle.
You think he would come back if he got Cody's deal and they said you can come back as John Moxley or not?
No. I don't think he wants to.
No.
I'd be shocked. I don't
What a
think he
shame.
cares. He doesn't care about
He was
WWE.
wasted. He was wasted there.
He doesn't care about WWE. Anyway, yeah, this was a great main event, and if any of you had seen my top 50 WrestleMania matches video I did recently, this match made it on it. I thought it was that good.
Really great.
Yep, very good.
Action was fucking jam-packed. Really great stuff.
It was. So that was the end of night 1. And then we started night 2 with another great match. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. It's obviously not as narratively pleasing as the triple threat from the end of night 1, because it's also half the length. But just in terms of action, I thought this was awesome. This whole match
I thought
was
this was the best match of the card.
Yeah, the best match of night 2 for sure. It was so fucking great.
I'm so glad Io retained.
Yeah, what a great ending. What a great reveal.
She deserves it. She's good. She deserves to keep it.
The only thing I will say is I would have liked if they'd made more of a deal that Bianca's streak is over. Like, she's actually been beaten at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't want to make a deal of it because then you got to. Oh, I don't know. It had to go eventually.
Yeah, I just think it would have been good to get more juice out of that.
Especially when she's won like 4, 5 in a row. Like 4 or 5 matches in a row now.
She lost a Battle Royal in 2018, but that hardly counts.
That doesn't count. It's not a singles match.
It's the first time she was pinned at WrestleMania. But you know, these 3 are 3 of the best athletes in the company. They absolutely killed it. I loved this match. This was exactly what it needed to be. And it felt like, unlike the Tiffany Charlotte match where it felt like they were struggling to keep it together and it was quite strained, this was the opposite. This felt natural. Everything flowed. Everything was really well choreographed. I do think, though, and this is kind of something that, Regan, you've pointed out, this was a match that needed bigger entrances. This is something where they could have put a bit more effort into the entrances.
Yeah, I mean, none of them got... I mean, what? I mean, because Rhea had a live entrance last year, which was really good.
Bianca's had much bigger entrances before.
Bianca, okay, she had a stepdaughter, but that doesn't do anything for anybody else, and Io had nothing. The champ came out first.
Yeah.
Why would the champion coming out first? Champion should always be coming out last. And yeah,
they could have put way more into the presentation for sure.
They should have had at least one of them should have had a special entrance.
Yeah. Anyway, Callum, what were your thoughts on this triple threat?
Oh, I thought it was like perfect. I thought this match was like absolutely perfect. Such a athletic match, such a intense match, and such a just absolute fantastic like structure and like pacing and everything. Generally, I think this is the best women's match in Mania history.
Wow.
Quite easily.
Interesting.
I don't think any women's match is better than this match.
Well, Dave Meltzer agrees with you.
Yeah.
Who cares about his
I think this is the best women's match at Mania.
It was very good.
I think it was like pitch perfect.
I guess my argument against that is I wasn't as keen on the story of this match as I was some of the others that I've seen.
I think the build, that's more on the build, where I think what they were doing in the match, I think actually was perfect in terms of what they wanted, because Io was always the one. No, it's always between Rhea and Bianca, but then the ending justified it, because it actually was built towards the finish. Like, as Io's just fucking insanely good.
Yeah, the whole thing of them doing where it's she don't count Io out, and then it resolves with her
when really she's like the best of the 3.
Yeah, her overcoming that sort of people overlooking her in the feud. It was very satisfying, and it's the kind of thing that Vince would have never done, because he never saw wrestlers that way.
We never get this match under Vince. Never.
Yeah.
She was so happy on the post show. It was very sweet.
Yeah, and also her parents in the crowd
like
too,
Bianca would have won if Vince was doing it. Bianca would have won this match.
Yeah.
But yeah, this match is like, I think in ring, this was the best match of the weekend for Mania.
It's certainly a belter.
Perfect.
And the
Then we
cameraman
had-
knew what he was doing.
Yeah, and then unfortunately things start to not go so well after this. I mean, like some of the matches on the rest of the night were okay, but it's definitely a downhill slope after this point.
Well, that's just the whole. Yeah, that is the show. I think after match 3 is when it goes downhill
Yeah.
for me.
So we had McIntyre versus Priest. This was kind of fun. I loved McIntyre doing the social.
I really
media
like this
post
match.
again.
I thought this was actually quite great.
Yeah,
I
McIntyre doing the social
didn't
media.
think it was
post
going to
again
be very good, but
It was better
Yeah,
than I
that was
expected. Better than I expected.
I was, as soon as he saw that, I was like, well, I can go on Twitter because I'm watching it live. I'm not going to see any spoilers. And just refreshing every second and just seeing the likes go up and up and up was nuts.
Yeah,
I was actually. I was quite quietly confident this match would be pretty great, and it was. I thought this match was awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I thought it was very good.
I
Yeah.
think it would be cool if McIntyre makes this a tradition, like he does this every year.
Yeah. I think the gear was cringe. It looked better than the Clash of Clan one, but man,
Doom
Drew's
thing
gear
did
was
look good.
goofy.
But like with the shield and stuff, that looked good. But I was like, why is it you have to have this in a WrestleMania entrance? A Doom ad.
Yeah, but sponsors.
Yeah, weirdly cheap, right? Weirdly cheap sort of costume department.
Like Doom, they should have had a bigger budget. Like it should have looked like they would have had a big budget. Why did they have to cheap out?
I don't know. WWE's
And then
costume
what?
department has always been a bit hokey, I won't lie.
And
Like
then
a lot of-
and then Priest had what? Was he the only other one who had a live entrance?
Well, he had the guitarist from Slayer, yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, there wasn't many. So at least there was something.
Yeah. Yeah, these two big boys had a fun brawl. I was happy. I was happy with the match. And Drew won, which was the right choice. I do think they need to stop feuding though. Like get this over with.
Oh yeah, this is the end of the feud. Sure, yeah.
Then we had the match that we were looking forward to when we did the predictions. Fatal 4-way match. Dominic Mysterio, Braun Breaker, Finn Balor.
This match fucked so hard.
Yep.
This was so good.
The right person won that match.
This was
Oh my-
everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah, this was basically as predicted. Penta did his cunty little walk in his entrance. It was very funny.
Braun was Braun.
Braun Breaker is a beast. Dominic was very hilarious, and the fact that he won is crazy. But it's so fun.
And then Finn was there.
And then apparently he wasn't supposed to turn around and run back to the ring, but the cameraman told him to do
fuck it. You know that
The camera guys was like, no, turn around, go back.
Dom just
Which he
gets the
deserves
business. He gets the business. He understands.
Well, he's a 20-year veteran.
Yeah. This is because at SummerSlam this year will be 20 years since the custody of Dominic ladder match.
He's a 20-year vet.
Is Dom's
as he said on
heel
the post show.
turn one of the best heel turns in retrospect in WWE history?
Probably.
It's up there.
And then when he was
I
a
don't think
heel,
it's number
and he
one.
turned even more heel.
I mean, certainly the modern era.
He's always just turned healer every time.
He was a heel and he turned even more heel with
Yep.
Rhea and Liv.
I don't think there's been a better trajectory of a character from before and after than his heel turn. He was like just nothing as like face Dom, and just like he was just Rey Mysterio's son, and there's this heel turn, and now 3 years, like nearly 3 years, he's completely transformed as a wrestler and a personality and a character and a performer.
He's one of the most.
It's
entertaining-
complete night and day.
He's one of the most entertaining people on the roster. It's wild.
I hope he
legit-
comes back to Perth when they come back, because he was hilarious when he was here.
Yeah.
He just gets it, and he's got so much personality, which he's been allowed to display, and probably developed on in these like 3 years.
I like now that Finn Balor is in like the later stages of his career. He's really putting over Dominic. Big time. He's putting over Dom.
I look forward to the actual betrayal at next year's Mania.
Also, making this a fatal
Surely they
four-way
won't
match
drag
was
it out for a year.
Making this a fatal.
They
four-way
nearly
match.
dragged out Priest and Finn for like a whole year. They started their feud very, like, the feud has gone on for like 2 years and it only ended in January. It's crazy.
Having this be a fatal four-way was smart, and because it meant that they have plans to put Braun Breaker in main event matches, and by doing it this way, you don't have to have him lose.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Penta was in this match, and he was so fun.
It was fun. It was great.
Yeah, that Mexican Destroyer looks awesome.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I've just noticed on Penta's entrance, the spinning blade like follows him down the ramp. I've just noticed that looking back.
Yeah.
That's quite cool.
Correct. Right. Kevin Owens got
Also, I guess we can mention that WWE have bought AAA.
Yeah, they have, which is
And this was
weird.
probably like the display match for it.
Triple
Yeah.
H is really
So now they can-
controversial.
Now they can fire Del Rio again.
Hope so.
Yeah. They want to turn it into NXT Mexico, apparently. Which is very
That's so
monopoly.
stupid.
It's very
So El
So
Grande
dumb.
can go there.
God.
The AAA name has name value to Mexican fans, so I wouldn't get rid of it.
Isn't it
think-
really though? Like CMNL was like sort of like they're like number one in terms of booking. I don't
Sure.
watch Mexican wrestling.
Well, CMLL's older. AAA used to be better, but then recently, ever since Conan took over AAA, it's gone shit. And they're a really controversial promotion as well. Like they're really, really negative in terms of news in the last like 5 years. I think it's really awkward that Stephanie Vaquer was there during the announcement of AAA because she hates AAA as a company and what they did to her. So I don't know. It's weird, but I understand the reason why WWE is doing this because AEW and CMLL are connected, and that's why they're also with New Japan as well. So, and obviously with Tony Khan acquiring Ring of Honor, it's all these different intellectual properties coming together. WWE's trying to do the same thing. They've done it with with TNA, and they're also doing it with AAA as well. I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future they do it with a Japanese promotion as well, like Noah or All Japan, or even like DDT or something.
Yeah, they probably buy like it won't be New Japan. It'll be like DDT or something.
Yeah, it's literally like AEW.
Noah. It seems quite likely.
Yeah, that's very likely. I mean, Omos has been going there, so they probably have the strongest connection. But it wouldn't. Yeah, it seems like WWE and AEW are just trying to build up these sort of monopolies, and I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, having promotions crossover in their shows and sharing talent is a great idea, but the way that they're doing it with the whole monopoly thing is just... ugh. It's just like another example of, like, money ruining everything. But speaking of crossing over, the next match was Randy Orton versus the TNA World Champion Joe Hendry. I had, like, 5 different people who I thought could have been the surprise person, and I did not get it right.
Blompier predicted it. In his predictions live, he actually got it right.
Yeah. I think Joe Hendry turning up for a viral moment was fun, but the match was 3 minutes, and I think it made the TNA
this wasn't
Champion
a
look
match.
weak. TNA World Champion looking weak was an interesting choice.
I think Joe talked about it exactly how it is. I don't think he looks silly. I would have liked the match to go a little bit longer, but I think this was like exactly what it should have been.
Yeah, it just is good for it. It's just good promotion. Everyone's
Like
like,
Joe
oh,
Hendry.
they buried the
Joe
champion,
Hendry
but-
got to wrestle at WrestleMania against Randy Orton as the TNA World Champion.
No, hey, let me just put it this way. I don't think it makes Joe Hendry look bad. I think it makes TNA as a company look bad. That they were willing to allow this. It makes them look very third
Nah,
rate.
I don't know. I don't agree. I think I get people have said that, and I just don't agree. I think this is exactly how it should have gone. Like I think Joe, it does a lot for Joe. I think I do agree that it is a bit one-sided in terms of WWE to TNA.
3 minutes
But he
is
wasn't
not
gonna
enough.
win.
It should have been like 5 or 6 minutes. 3 minutes is too short for this match.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would have liked to go a bit longer, but I think this was good fun. I had a good time.
But
with this.
everyone's going to be talking about it now, so
I think the way Joe's gone about it, talking about it after in interviews and stuff, I think it's the right attitude to
I will
have.
say, though,
I think.
This match existing gave Karrion Kross fuel for his shoot promo, talking about viral moments. That was a great reaction.
Yes, that
to
was
this
good.
Match.
And former WCPW champion.
Yeah, Joe.
That's
Hendry.
2 on this show.
That's true. I believe
Yeah,
in
this-
Joe Hendry.
Generally, I managed to stay unspoiled with this match.
You know, because of this match.
So it was. I was so surprised and happy.
You know, because of this match, all 3 of my flatmates have been seeing Joe Hendry on TikTok just on their feed. They keep saying me like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
He's
yeah, I
local
remember
hero.
he was
Joe
the
Hendry.
Yeah.
WCPW.
Yeah,
You know what?
he was awesome.
You know what, Regan? When we were watching Night 2, Luke Peterson was there, and when he saw
Wow.
Joe Hendry, he said he looks like an LPW wrestler. Like in terms of his gimmick, his character is very LPW.
He didn't used to be blonde. He used.
Hey, that's
he
a
used
high
to,
praise. That's a high
some
praise for
bleached.
LPW
It is.
for Luke to say that.
No. What I'm saying is that the kind of, I guess, the wink and the humor of Joe Hendry's entrance.
Yeah,
is
that's
very,
great.
It's
I
very
can't believe he
LP
said that.
It's very LPW. Like the kind, like it's
That's
very like kind
hilarious.
of in the same. It's kind of, it's like he speaks the same theatrical language as like an Oliver Jacobs or a Simon Deek or something. It's got that kind of
That's
thing
great.
to it.
I can't believe Luke said that. Luke,
Yeah. Okay. Oh God, that's not aged well.
no.
If he came back, he'd be doing some crazy satire. Ugh.
Ooh, I don't know if Gareth would like that.
Anyway, yeah. Then we had Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. My thoughts on this match are
This is where the show goes off the rails.
yeah. So my thoughts on this match are exactly the same as they were when we did the predictions. In that, I don't care about the dynamic between the two in the match. What I care about is what Karrion Kross thinks of the match. That's the part that I'm invested in. The fact that he wants AJ to defend the honor of the wrestler versus the celebrity. I think that is cool. But the actual Paul Styles dynamic, I don't care. They're, you know, obviously both of them are really athletic.
Logan Paul is not a good professional wrestler.
That's quite a hot take because a lot of people love him in the ring.
I thought the match
Well,
was
a lot
great.
of people are fucking thick. Like, he can do moves, he can do spots. He can't tell a story in the ring. He can't.
Styles can, though.
Styles can, and he can only do so much. This is the novelty of what Logan can wearing on. And when you actually look at it, he's just very athletic, which he is. He is very freakishly athletic. That isn't what a pro wrestler is. That doesn't what make a good pro wrestler.
Yeah, but he brings. in
There's
too
so
much
many people
money
who
for
aren't
one
that.
of them.
There are so many wrestlers who are not even close to being as athletic as Logan and are superior pro wrestlers. Like Keith Lee,
I would
superior
agree with
pro
that.
wrestler.
Although Keith Lee in his prime was a great athlete.
Yeah, but
forget
he's
that.
not Logan Paul in terms of he's not like Logan Paul in that way.
Well, I mean, yes.
But
CM
he's an
Punk.
infinite
CM
trained
Punk-
professional
CM
wrestler.
CM Punk's not as athletic as Logan Paul. He's not even close, but he's much better. in the
Logan
ring.
can do spot. He can go from a spot to a spot when he's told to, but there's no connection to why he's doing his moves, and there's no connection of what this character is actually doing. He can just do flips. He's like what the people think the Young Bucks are in a way. He's just a very good athlete,
I mean, the Young Bucks
freakishly so.
Young Bucks tell pretty good stories, though. They're pretty underrated in that.
Exactly, because they've been trained as pro wrestlers for decades. Logan is clearly still like learning, and it's so obvious because he
How
doesn't
much do
tell
you think,
stories in the ring.
How much do you think that impacts this match?
A lot, very much so. There was no story in this match. There was just moves.
Apart from the ending? Would you say the ending had a story?
Apart from the ending, which was because of Cross, and it was a shit ending anyway. This match is shit. This is a shit match.
Okay, well, Regan, you tell me why you liked it.
Well, I like all the high flashy moves.
So you're entertained by the acrobats.
It doesn't. Yeah, I couldn't do it. It's very entertaining.
I know I can't do it either, but loads of people in the business can't do it either. But they tell better wrestling matches easily.
Yeah, but he brings them too much money,
Like,
so they're not going to get rid of him.
The Rock and Steve Austin can't do this match, but it's anything they do would be instantly better because they get pro wrestling. They get how to make a match.
Also, a lot of people just don't like it because they don't like Logan Paul.
Oh, I don't like Logan. I think he's a scumbag.
Right.
But there have been matches. There have been better Logan Paul matches than this, easily. But that's mainly because the other wrestler in the ring.
Well, it's interesting because Styles is usually considered one of the best, even if he's past his prime.
Yeah, but he's probably not one of the better storytellers in wrestling. He's also in his prime very athletic. But I don't think Styles can drag Logan to a good match without a good story behind it. And that also affects because of the build. The build's not been that good. It's been very weird.
The build to this match was pretty lacking.
So if there isn't just... Because there have been pro wrestlers with bad builds who've had excellent told story matches. Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns at 31 was a shit build, but a fantastic match.
I will say this, to give you a bit of devil's advocate. There was a match that Styles had with Cross 6 days... No, it's not 6 days. Yeah, 6 days before this one. Where obviously, athletically, it was nowhere near as impressive because Cross doesn't have what Logan Paul has as an athlete. But the story was better. The actual story they told in the
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is, Connor? Is it because you think Karrion Kross is actually a good storyteller who actually knows what he's doing?
Well, he's very underrated as a storyteller, I'll say that. And one of the best things about that match was when he faked a leg injury and then lured in Styles. It was really interesting.
Yeah.
And then the fact that the match ended with Kross sacrificing himself to give Styles something going into the match that he needed to win. It was very interesting. I will agree on that front that yes, Paul does not have as much knack for storytelling, and it's because of his lack of experience, maybe. But at the same time, I do think that there is something in maybe not for everyone, but there is something in athleticism, purely speaking, that can carry a match for a lot of people. Maybe not for you, because I think you're more narratively interested in wrestling. But in a sort of a surface level way.
Well, I am impressed by high spots. I'm always impressed by high spots from a lot of wrestlers. But but when it comes to high spots, there's still a connective tissue to it.
Yes.
When there's the high spot.
I would agree.
This doesn't have that.
I would agree with that because I recently rewatched some of the streak matches, and some of the high spots in those matches are amazing in terms of story and in terms of actual.
And there's often a reason for it, for why those spots are happening.
Yeah.
You can't tell me a single thing of what story they told in this ring, other than just talking about the build and then the cross interference. There was no story being told as the match was happening.
I mean, it was just combat, right? It was very simple combat. It was one move after the other.
Even real life combat has a narrative to it. This had no narrative in terms of what they actually told in the ring. This is not a good match. This for me. This was one of the worst matches. In terms of athleticism, it's fine. Match-wise, this will be one of the most forgettable matches on the card. No one will talk about this match. People aren't talking about this match at all.
Yeah. I mean, there have been better Paul matches, and there's certainly been a lot better Styles matches.
This might be one of his... I think this is his worst match.
Well, you think this is worse
I think every match he's had, there's at least been something in terms of a story told.
I didn't watch.
Because if you look at what his match, he's had matches with the novelty of. I think probably the second worst is probably the Miz at SummerSlam, but that at least there was a story, there was somewhat of a story, but that was with the novelty of how good was it at the time? No one knew.
How was the tag match? I don't remember that one.
I remember the tag match being fine. I remember it being fine.
That has babyface Dominic in it.
Yeah, that's true. But I imagine that was a
Weird.
better match than this, in terms of like there been actual story told, because that's the story of Logan being like surprisingly like athletic in the ring.
Okay. Do you think the
Yeah, I don't think what.
the reason
Yeah, I don't think
why-
what I'm saying is controversial.
Do you think what makes the Ricochet match better than this is the Samantha Irvin story that they told?
Yeah, that was actually good. That stuff was good. Don't get me wrong, I think Logan's a piece of fucking shit. But if we're just talking about it objectively in terms of the story, it was like perfectly competent what they were doing. I didn't love that match either, but like I think narratively there was something more to this than that. You know,
Callum with the hot takes tonight.
I don't think I'm being controversial at all.
Well, you are.
No, I'm right. I'm always right.
Although I think my opinion on Jey Uso is more controversial. To be honest.
In terms of online spaces, yeah, because
Yeah.
people are easily pleased sometimes.
The fucking Luke Owen decorating of Jey Uso has been weird. Very weird.
It's been very strange, even though even though everyone keeps saying every shit the story
The way
was
he's saying,
and
like,
the build.
everything with Jey makes sense because of what happened 2 years ago. I'm like, that's not the point, man. I'm talking about what happened 2 years ago. I'm talking about what's happening now. What happened 2 years ago was great.
You're only
It's
as good as
2
you're only
years
as good as
ago.
your last
It's
match.
2
You're only
years
as good
ago.
as your
It's such a
last match.
long time. I'm loyal to a point. I'm loyal to a point. But he had that match with Roman at SummerSlam, which was not great, and then he had the shit match with his brother, and then all the Yeet stuff, and then the Royal Rumble, and then this. Like, there's goodwill, but then there's also bad will. The bad stuff detracts from it. You can't just be loyal to a fault like that. Anyway, and they're like, oh well, he's over, he's popular. It's the only justification you need. It's like, no. And they try to compare it to Daniel Bryan, which again, wrong. The point of Bryan going to WrestleMania 30 wasn't that he was over, it's that he was influential, it's that he had a story where he had been messed over by the Authority. There was an actual, tangible justification for why he needed to be in that match. There were so many different things that contributed to why WrestleMania 30 and Daniel Bryan happened. It's not just that he's over. The fact that he's over is the reason why Vince bent over backwards and allowed the story to happen. Anyway, getting too ahead of myself, we had the women's tag match. Bayley was
Stupid.
Bayley was taken out of the
Stupid.
match, replaced by Becky, who returned.
Absolutely stupid.
Lyra and Becky won, and then they lost the next night, and then Becky turned heel.
Waste of bloody time.
Yeah, I don't have much thoughts on this, to be honest. What did you think, Callum?
Poor Bailey.
Yeah, this is weird. This is a really strange heel turn. Should have done it on this match. He'll turn heel right here. That would have been a shock, and that would have been something. Just makes Becky look really strange. Just like
And Bailey knew it was happening. She knew it was going to happen.
well, she was probably the kayfabe would be she's injured and she wasn't at the show.
Yeah, but yeah, she knew it was going to happen. She said she feels like she's not as good as Charlotte and Becky.
That's rubbish. She's
Yeah, it's a weird situation.
That's rubbish. She
Yeah,
had one of the
that's
she
what
had
she
one
said.
of the she had one of the best matches on Mania last year.
I'm just saying what she said.
I know, but
She thinks she's not on the same
self-doubt.
level as them.
That's self-doubt, and the only reason she's saying that is because she doesn't feel the energy of it. But actually, in terms of talent, she's definitely on their level.
It's just she should have been in the match.
Yeah.
Waste
I
of
don't
time
know.
winning and then losing it the next day.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Or Liv and Raquel could have just won, and then Becky could have been pissed off that they lost the match and turned heel after the match.
Yeah. They could have done
Don't
that.
bother swapping the titles. They could have had a heel
Oh
turn
yeah, they
right
could have
there.
done the heel turn here easily.
They could have done it on Mania.
Yeah.
Waste of time.
Poor Lyra doesn't even get to defend her belt at Mania.
Exactly. That should have. That should
Or
have been the
Chelsea
match.
Green.
They got these mid card
Yeah,
women's titles, and now they don't get to defend them.
This tag team match should have been on Raw, not on WrestleMania. And same thing with the New Day.
One of the teams at the team should have won it in the
same
gauntlet
thing as
match.
New Day
not
versus
them.
War Raiders. That should have also been on Raw and not WrestleMania. And the TLC match should have been here and not SmackDown. Anyway,
Doesn't Johnny Gargano? I mean, no. Doesn't Tommaso Ciampa look so weird?
now that he's shaved.
He had to shave his beard because
I haven't seen it yet, actually.
split his chin open, so he had to shave his beard off.
Yeah. Yeah, he does look very naked without his beard. Anyway, there's quite a lot to talk about with the next one. Cody Rhodes
Is there?
versus-
Because it's kind of just about one fucking thing.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, actually, no. There's something that we talk about before the match. Was the Stone Cold audience attendance reveal?
Oh, that lady was milking it, man. She was absolutely milking it.
Ran into a wall and she fell over. That was so funny.
Oh, it was
Because you
so
can see
funny.
he hits the wall,
Oh my
and then she realizes, and then she throws herself backwards.
She looks so angry every time she's on camera. So funny.
The owner of WWE, Nick Khan, had to go.
Nick Khan runs over.
Nick Khan had to go into. Are you okay? Okay, please don't sue us. Please don't sue us.
Now she's probably got tickets for life. She'll be the next green shirt guy.
The green shirt guy was there.
Yeah,
And
that's going to be her now.
And last night I rewatched the 2012 Hell in a Cell Triple H Undertaker match, and the green shirt guy's in the crowd for that match too.
What does this dude do?
Must be a shareholder.
How is he always there?
Must be a shareholder.
Don't drink and drive.
But yeah, she was milking that for all it was worth. Stone Cold
Yeah, no,
barely
it's-
touched her.
But Steve Austin's funny. Like, he's just such a doofus.
He didn't care. Then he jumped in the ring and had some beers and then walked off.
Oh, hell yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I hate the way they announced the combined two nights, because most of the people that are there on both nights are there for both nights. Like, it's...
And how was the number? They said it was sold out both nights, but night one was 2,000 less than night two.
Yeah, I don't know how
Night
that
one
works.
was 61,000, night two was
I
63,000.
don't know how that works. It's weird. It's weird.
But somehow it was sold out for both nights.
So strange. Vegas is not a wrestling market. It's been known as a pretty... You know, it does have fans there, but it's not known as a big wrestling market.
It does better every year for the F1.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some pretty big crowds for Double or Nothing when they were in Vegas for like 5 or 6 years. I think 2019 to last year. So it would have been what? They did 6 years of Vegas, and there was quite a few instances of them having pretty big, sold out crowds in the arena they go to.
But for Mania though, most of the crowd is international.
Yeah, true.
Well, not most, but a lot
I
is
just
international though.
I think it is important to recognize that Vegas is not a huge wrestling town. It's more like just overall entertainment. It's not like when they go to the East Coast or the South or California. Those are massive.
Or Toronto.
Or like when they go to Texas, like that's much, much, much bigger.
Or New York.
Yeah, New York or Florida or Atlanta. Like, those are massive. Anyway. My favorite thing about the main event is the entrances. I think Cena coming out to the Oliver Jacobs LPW text was very funny. Just black screen, white text. And then Cody's attire was awesome. The velvet tights and the mask. I liked that. That was fun.
I thought people say he's like Captain America, not Iron Man, though.
We were saying it's like Captain America. It was clearly Iron Man.
No, people say that's what his like character is like. Then he had an Iron Man mask.
Okay. I thought his entrance was a little bit goofy.
What with the mask?
I thought he could have had something better.
I thought the motorcycle
was better.
and the mask was quite goofy. It was very strange.
I actually forgot about the motorcycle.
And then also the fact that you see when he walks in, he goes to see Brandy and his daughter, and then when he's leaving to his bus, it's just him and Brandy. He got so mad he left his daughter there.
That's funny. Anyway, I'll start with you, Regan, because I feel I have a feeling you won't dislike this match as much as me and Callum because you love Cena. But it's
okay.
What I'm going to say is the idea of Cena hitting this accolade, like we said in the predictions, is a good idea, especially as a heel. There's a lot of good reasons to do it, but at the same time, you also have to have a good match. And I just don't know.
No, I like him, but I'm not going to glaze him.
Yeah,
like it was strange.
Would you agree this could have been so much better than it was?
Yeah, and then what the hell was Dwayne doing on the Pat McAfee show saying I didn't need to be there, it wasn't about me?
Yeah.
He should have been there, because Cena never said why he aligned with him.
Yeah, I thought the
should not have been bloody Travis Scott.
I thought the match was very clunky, and then when Travis Scott came out, it was just terrible.
It was just too slow.
He took his fucking, 10 million years to get to the ring. What is he thinking?
Yeah. What was Cody... how did Cody not recover in the meantime?
Yeah. They spent the whole feud in between Chamber and Now. They never mentioned Travis Scott once, despite the fact that he appeared at the Chamber.
Yeah, just dumb.
Christ. Dwayne not being there was dumb.
Dwayne should have been there. It was...
How does The Rock not understand that he is the crux of the fucking story? He's the crux of the story!
Idiot. He's the reason he turned heel. Because he didn't sell his soul.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
It's also very silly of Cena to want to turn a heel at Chamber.
No, the match at Backlash will be far better, with Randy at least.
You'd hope so.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Actually, I do see people saying
they tend
online,
to not have good matches.
I see online people are like, "This is what Cena needs to do at Backlash," and it's just the clip of Randy when he gets himself disqualified.
What I will say about, and we're talking about as a match. Maybe crowd reaction will be great, but as a match, Cena and Orton struggled to have good matches in their prime. So how are they going to do it? Yeah, they did. They had a few good ones.
I thought they had a really good rivalry.
They had a lot of matches. They had a lot of matches, but most of them, they definitely... I mean, to be fair, some of it is Vince's fault because of the booking. SummerSlam 2009 is absolutely Vince's fault because the booking was just ridiculous. But they had a few good ones. The best one's probably the Breaking Point I Quit match. That one's great. But overall, they really struggled. They lack chemistry. Maybe it'll be different this time, but I have doubts.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's also Cena is going to be leading matches because he's a heel, and he has never done that, and he's not great at it in this match.
Well, I remember he even though he technically wasn't a heel, he led the match with Rock at 28, and the parts where he's working over the Rock just weren't in his comfort zone.
It was so bad. So bad.
And this as well, I just thought this was fucking clunky. And then obviously the Travis
A lot of
Scott...
people found that interesting because of Cena's character.
No,
in a certain way.
I'm going to push back on this. I'm going to push back on this. Right? I understand he wants to be a real heel, but you don't need to make bad art to be a heel. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, but Connor, it's objectively bad, but that makes it interesting.
I know you want me to hate Cena, but you don't need to make it a bad match. It's not.
But Connor, he said he was gonna ruin wrestling.
No, it's stupid.
Yeah, now he needs to win money.
Having bad matches, I don't think that's what he meant.
No, it's
that's not his character at the moment. It's having bad matches.
That's not what he meant. Yeah, it wasn't well put together, and the ending is horrendously flat. It's Travis Scott takes 1,000,000 years to get to the ring. The way it ends makes Cody look so fucking weak.
What do you mean?
Cena-
It's the big star, Travis Scott.
Cena wins the biggest accolade in WWE history, and I feel like
Wrestling history. Wrestling history.
Well, actually, technically no, because if you go by outside WWE canon, Ric Flair's a 21-time world champion, so it's not wrestling.
But you get
history.
what I mean. This is the moment.
But from WWE's canon, yes. It is seen as the biggest accolade of the entire business, and I didn't feel it. Didn't feel like it really earned that moment. This was, for me, a really disappointing end to the show.
Why was
He
it?
was hilarious on the post show.
Yeah, he was. He was funny on the post show.
That just seems like a clickbait answer,
Yeah.
and that's lazy. Next question.
That was funny. The thing is, some people are saying it's because Cena's washed, but I don't believe that. I thought he was really good.
He's
at
never been a good wrestler. He's never been a good wrestler.
But the thing is, though, I thought he was good at Elimination Chamber. I thought he did a pretty decent job in that match.
Yeah, because he was in the ring with Seth and Punk.
Yeah.
Like, Cody's a good wrestler, but he's not Punk and Seth in terms of in-ring work.
Well, I mean, Cody's great at doing his thing, but I wouldn't call him a carry guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Had this been a Seth, had this been a Punk, had this even been a Roman... No, actually, bad matches, forget that. If it was like a Punk or Seth, this would be a better match. Bad finish still, but it would have been a better match. A lot of people seem to think the I'm going to ruin wrestling thing like actually quite literal. When he spelled it out quite clearly many times, he's ruining wrestling by being the last real world champion. Because we're gonna make a new belt and it's gonna be a paper champion.
Well,
that's what he fucking means.
That part of the story is great. I love that part of the story.
Yeah,
I think that's
the
awesome.
promo with Randy. I know you haven't seen it, but the promo with Randy
I've seen that one. That was
is really good. Okay,
Yeah, it is.
that
It is.
promo
I've seen
is
that.
really good. It's a really good
Yeah.
promo because that's the story of John's year. He's the last real world champion, and he's ruining wrestling by ruining it for us. Not his in-ring work. He's not going to be. I'm going to have purposely bad matches on purpose, and that's the story. What a shit story that would be. That'd be a fucking awful story.
Also, he's not the only person in his matches. You can tell stories in a way that uses the other person.
Yeah. That's why, if he has a match with Punk at Money in the Bank, that match will probably be good.
Yeah.
Maybe not as good as it used
like-
to be
it's like
because of
Cena-
Cena's age and Punk's age,
It's like
but the
people
story
are-
will be good.
People are trying to justify it by saying Cena in the ring is now like a reverse Shawn Michaels, because Shawn Michaels, the whole thing with
Fuck
Shawn
off.
Michaels, the whole thing with Shawn Michaels is that he would lose matches because he tried too hard to have a good match. It's almost like Cena's winning because he's trying hard to have a bad match, and then he uses interference. So it's bizarre. It's weird.
Fucking weird.
Nah. I don't like how fans have
People,
tried to
let's be
justify
real.
this.
Some people in fandoms are fucking thick, aren't they?
Like, oh no, guys.
They are
it was
really
sup-
stupid.
It was supposed to be bad. Don't be a critic, be a fan.
I don't know what you're talking about. Empire Death was great.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, as much as I was kind of sour on the end of Mania, I will say Raw and SmackDown have lifted my spirits. I was actually quite surprised.
Because here's the thing, I think this still is like, this is more long-term damage than short-term. Because it really depends on what they do with Cody when he comes back.
True.
And when he comes back. I think if they're going to put him off TV, he needs to be off TV for... We need to like miss Cody. Because if he comes back very soon, the boos could be continuing.
I reckon SummerSlam. Honestly, I reckon SummerSlam is a good time to get. It's kind of like Roman last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
Any later than that might be.
I think he doesn't
slightly
I don't think he
too long.
wrestles at SummerSlam if he comes back at SummerSlam.
Yeah, same as Roman.
Yeah.
Longer than that might be too long. But it's a good
Yeah.
gap.
Because you can literally tell the story of like he just felt so broken after this match, and he had to take time to recover himself mentally.
Clash in Paris is after SummerSlam this year, right? Is that correct? Or is it before?
I think it's like 2 weeks after.
Okay.
2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, it's after.
And then I get Cena at the end of the year.
You do?
Yeah, not in November,
In
October.
October.
What is it?
October has
October.
been announced.
October, and then obviously you have Survivor Series in November.
Somehow they're gonna do Survivor Series in an open like baseball like stadium. I don't know how that's gonna work.
I don't think they're doing War Games. I think they're gonna not do.
They
War
have
Games
got the
this year.
cage. They still got the cage like graphics, and they showed a lot of like war games in the promo.
Oh, true. Okay.
So I think they are. I think they are doing war games.
Or maybe they'll build a structure like they've done before.
They probably have it pre-built and then just lift it up
No,
into
they,
the.
they could build a build a towering structure. They've done that before.
I did that here because we had
So
Elimination Chamber in a open air stadium.
WrestleMania 28. WrestleMania 28's open air. It was in Florida and it's open air. They had a Hell in a Cell match. And
Yeah. It'll be like Manias, like with.
Yeah, so they hang it from a towering structure that's above the ring.
Yeah, that's the same as my Elimination Chamber that I.
That makes sense. But it's just very weird because it's like there's a completely open like view of like because it's a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
It's weird. It'll be weird.
Yeah, curious.
Yeah, and I get a SmackDown, a pay-per-view, and a Raw.
Lucky bastard. They should do WrestleMania in Eden Park.
So I will try to go to all
Can you
three of
imagine,
them.
Regan, if they did WrestleMania in Eden Park?
I can't imagine because it would never happen.
It's sad.
Hey, we're only 7 hours away, so
Look, New Zealand, wrestling's fairly popular in New Zealand, but it's not WrestleMania popular. It's not that popular.
I'm just glad it's coming back. Yeah,
Bugger.
and Cena's gonna be there.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah, this finish fucking sucked. So awful. They were about to fucking DQ themselves in front of the referee. That was fucking stupid.
So, Travis Scott has had 3 appearances this year, and I feel like they've gotten worse as they've gone.
Yeah.
Because he had the Jay entrance where he smoked a blunt.
Oh, yeah.
That was actually
Netflix
quite funny.
debut,
That was
yeah.
actually quite funny. And then he joined in on Cena's heel turn, and he was like the third wheel. And then there was this, which was a pile of garbage.
Absolutely
Took a sweet ass time walking to the ring.
But guys, it's Travis Scott.
Don't give a damn about Travis Scott.
Also, this match being like having a hard sponsor in the main event of WrestleMania. Fucking hell. If there's one match that should not have a sponsor, it's the main events of WrestleMania.
what
I
Seth-
don't even think the Punk match had a sponsor.
Like what
I
Seth,
swear it didn't have a sponsor.
like what Seth Rollins said, the WrestleMania main event is sacred.
I swear. Am I wrong in saying that the main event of night 1 didn't have like a big
I
sponsor?
don't remember it.
I don't think it did, but this did. This was sponsored by like fucking drumstick ice cream cones.
Oh, I remember that. Fucking Anthony was waiting for this match, and then he saw the drumstick ice cream cones, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on? My immersion is
The
broken."
cone zone. The
Yeah.
cone zone in the main event of WrestleMania. Also, they don't even have Prime on the middle of the mat anymore. It's just a bunch of other fucking logos.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Prime isn't there anymore. It's just got the hydration station.
yeah.
Well, I would prefer like they do in actual sports, and it's just rolling advertisements because that's more natural in actual fucking sports. When you look at a like football match, you see all the like LED screens just rolling advertisements instead of just one big fucking advertisement, and then it's just really distracting, like it's a match sponsor. You know?
I don't know what
Strange,
sponsorship. I can't remember. Is in American sport, do they do it the same way the Europeans do it?
Probably it's probably more hard hitting and annoying in American advertisements.
Well, I know they have more ad breaks, like they have quarter time and everything. In
Yeah.
American sport.
In here, like it's literally just like in football games. There's no advertisements of the whole half. You just get rolling advertisements of like where the football is.
That's the same.
Either on like pictures or screens.
It's the same as.
Then you get all your ads. You get all of your ads in half time.
Yep.
And then same again for second half.
That's how they do it here. In the rugby,
Yeah.
same thing. 40 minutes of unbroken.
It's just advertisement after advertisements like all the time. It's just there's like no break of sponsors.
I will say there is quite a bit of product placement in Australian sports. So like rugby league, there's a lot of that. Especially when they go to like the TMO, or you call it VAR in football. There's a lot of
the TMO in the league. It's sponsored by KFC, so it shows a KFC
whenever
bucket.
Dan's putting that on the TV, I'm having to be reminded of my job. I'm meant to be reminded of my work when I'm not at work, which is always great.
Yeah. Like I was at Wembley Stadium yesterday and like there's sponsors everywhere, but it's not distracting because it's just a part of the arena and it's just constant. It's not like insane.
Yeah. Anyway,
they just don't. But Stephanie McMahon once said that WWE do sponsors better than anybody else.
Fuck off. That's a load of bullshit.
Yeah. She said that before, and that was before like all of this shit.
No,
that was way before. That was still when Vince was in power.
Look, Stephanie's wrong about quite a few things.
Yeah, but don't you like our podcast, Stephanie's Places?
Well, to be fair, the Punk episode was pretty good.
Well, yeah, because it's Punk. He's more interesting things to say.
Seeing Stephanie say, "I only ever wish the best for you," I'm like, that's nice that you said that, but I don't believe you. I believe at one point in time you really didn't like CM Punk.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Like, there's 100%. No way that her and her husband didn't go home and go, fuck this guy. They absolutely did. Anyway.
Yeah. What a fucking awful WrestleMania.
Well, no, it wasn't all awful. Some of it was really good.
Wasn't all awful, but man, it's on a sour note.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeet.
Yeah, all that nonsense.
Yeah, so because of you guys tying, and me being the reigning champion and losing the belt, it means that you two will face off at Money in the Bank, which is in a couple of pay-per-views time, to see who is.
Yeah, that might get Cena Punk then. That'll be good.
Who is the real world champion?
The last real prediction champion.
Remember how CM Punk is still he's still the real world champion in AEW because he never lost that belt. I wonder what he's done with that belt. Did he just like throw it away?
He probably just gave it back to them. He probably just left it there. I doubt he still has it.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised.
Yeah. Anyway, Regan, got any last thoughts?
I enjoyed it overall. I didn't think it was too bad. The sponsors, that was frustrating. And the lack of good entrances.
I think the standard of WrestleMania has been heightened a lot because of Triple H taking over creative, so the expectations were a lot higher than they usually would be, given what we've had.
So I hope next year we have some better entrances.
Because, like, I think 40 and 39 are two of the best Manias ever. So, this was...
But you can't always have 10 out of 10s every time, so it's fine.
You can't, but I'm just saying that, like, during Vince's era, this would have probably felt normal, having a Mania like this. But with Triple H, I think that's why people are so disappointed, because Triple H's standard is a lot higher.
It's easily. It's like by some distance, it's his worst Mania. It'll be hard to like be worse than this. I imagine for a while.
Well, we'll see what happens next year.
It is fine. I'm sure he'll fix it.
The Rock is definitely not going to be at next year's Mania because he's going to be in a Scorsese film, I believe.
He'll try something.
He's trying to finally have his prestige drama moment that he's never gotten.
He never mentions Triple H in his tweets. So, do they like each other?
No, of course they don't. They've never liked each other. They pretend to for business, but they don't.
And Triple H just has to deal with it, even though he's the one that's there every bloody day.
The Rock makes a lot of creative pitches to Triple H, and Triple H turns down most of them, so they very clearly don't work together well.
And then he ruins his storylines and has to fix his shit.
Well, in this, I mean, that was last year. This year, The Rock feels like Triple H is ruining his ideas, and therefore he doesn't want to turn up. Because he's like, well, if my contributions aren't going to be respected, then there's no point in me being there.
What do you think? It was Triple H's idea or The Rock's to have Travis Scott come down?
Oh no, that was Travis Scott's idea. That wasn't Triple H's idea, that was Travis Scott's idea. Triple H just allowed it to happen.
Well, he shouldn't have. Honestly.
Triple H went on a Zoom call with Travis Scott, and Travis Scott had all these ideas, and Triple H is like, right, we're going to find a way to make them work.
Seeing Speed in the Rumble was better than seeing Travis Scott at WrestleMania.
Yeah, because they actually use Speed in a way that makes sense.
Stupid.
Yeah. Anyway. I bid you a good night and a goodbye. Bang.
WrestleMania, baby. Woo!